There's a strange woman up in my garden. I don't know who she is. Well, that's interesting. I was just about to start shooting this video. Let's see if you can see this. This is a pupa case, I guess you would call it. That's what it was inside, and here's what's exiting out of that. That's one of the subjects we're going to talk about today. I got a long list. This is going to be a little bit of a crazy video, probably one of the craziest videos I've done in a while, with a ton of content on it. So I have to sort of string this together without doing a whole bunch of editing, and I'll explain that here in a second. So here we go. Hey guys, Doc. So a lot of people are starting to comment, say, where are you, Doc? I'm starting to get worried. So let's start off on the personal side, then we'll get to the lawn side and what's going on. I've had some disc issues, pain in the back of my neck, which I've had before because I used to be a gym rat. I used to be in the gym all the time. But this actually got a little bit crazy in that now it's impacting a nerve that's running through the back of my scapula, into my shoulder, down my tricep, and into my forearm. And man, nighttime suck and the mornings suck. So I've been to a kinesiologist. Basically, he's a local guy, really good with muscular stuff. I've been to 2 chiropractors. I finally found a good chiropractor that has 40 years experience and knows what's going on. I went down to a spine and neck place, got some x-rays shot down there. So, you know, it's just that old age kind of lockup thing where you screw something up. And I'll tell you where I think I did it. Building that block retaining wall garden. I was out there all by myself while the guys were working. I was throwing those rocks all around, and I think that kind of shifted something out of place. So it's going to be a long process. Anyway, so what are we going to talk about today? I want to talk a little bit about grubs because I'm starting to see bugs. The temperature is coming up. I'm going to talk a little about DGL, dark green lawn fertilizer, and what different fertilizers you should be using right now. I'm going to talk a little about sometimes people get rust stains on their driveway. I had someone comment on that. I'll tell you how to get rid of that. Mushrooms. I'm starting to see mushrooms. A lot of people freak out when they see mushrooms. I usually don't. I'm going to talk about the garden. There's a big change going on in the garden up here. I'm giving my garden away. So it's a lot to cover. So stick with me on this one. It really is a beautiful morning out here this morning. My weather station in the foreground. It's just absolutely gorgeous. This is that warm weather we've been waiting on. We've had 80s the past, matter of fact, I think we got up to 86 the other day. So this is that warm weather transition where everything starts to come alive. So, all right, where do I start? First of all, at the beginning of every video, I say, of course, get the lawn guides. We cover all this in the lawn guides. freelawncareguide.com is the cool season. There's a link to the Bermuda and the Zoysia website. They have calendars, product links, everything. Please bookmark them when you go there, because we don't get your information. There's no app. We don't ask for your information. Never. Over 2 million people have used them because it's set up that way and they're sitting there free. I have not included information about DGL in that lawn guide, dark green, the new fertilizer, because it didn't exist. So I'll do that in a couple of months. I'll update them, but there is a website and I've done videos on DGL, dark green lawn, the new fertilizer. Let's talk about kind of what's going on here at the property and what I've got, all these plans that are sort of coming together, and then this neck issue that is sort of screwing everything up. In like 8 days, I'm supposed to go down to the beach house, which I abandoned for almost a year and a half. And I'm going to go down there and I plan to do a fixing your lawn video down there. Now that lawn is Zoysia. We started that off as Zoysia, but over the past couple of years, Bermuda has been moving in and I've been sort of fighting it. So here's a funny story. On Amazon, I just ordered, I went and I ordered some La Prima Bermuda seed, and I sent it down to the wife, and I had the wife put it out. Oh, so we'll see what happens down there. So I had to teach her how to use it. I'm online, I'm FaceTiming, teaching her how to use that little hand spreader. She's texting my son saying, can I use the big spreader? I'm like, no, don't use the big spreader. It was actually a funny conversation. Anyway, so I'm putting down Bermuda seed down there because I can't keep battling the Bermuda that keeps wanting to move in. So I'm going to convert that over into Bermuda lawn. I had my lawn guy. I shipped DGL down there. If you saw the funny UPS video from the other video, I shipped DGL down there, and my lawn guy was nice enough to put it out for me. So I did get down some DGL. So hit subscribe and make sure you're subscribed, and don't forget, hit that like button, because it really does. I know it only takes a second, but it does help our videos. But make sure you're subscribed, because when I go down there, You may not see those videos because there's going to be a little bit different algorithm to them. Okay, so let me run through a couple things real quick. Number one, mushrooms. I've got mushrooms popping up here. Now, my problem with mushrooms is, if you understand what this used to look like, there were massive 5-foot wide tree stumps over here right next to the house. How they built that house with those there, I don't know. We had to have those ground up. We brought in some initial topsoil that had a bunch of wood to it. So my problem in this yard is I've got a bunch of wood chips under this soil, and fungus loves wood chips. So I will have a lot of mushrooms pop up here. And personally, I just don't let them bother me. I've gotten to the point where if I see mushrooms, I know they're a pain in the butt, and you're like, man, you go out and there's all these little white mushrooms. You can go out there early in the morning or early in the evening and start picking them off. That's the best way to handle it. A fungicide technically is not going to help it because it usually is deep in the soil. So I would just sort of live with them. They usually last. The mushroom phase usually lasts a couple of weeks, and then by the time the heat kicks in, they usually go away. It's a combination of hitting the 80s and having moisture. Those two things are going to make your mushrooms. Just like mycorrhizal fungi, that's what mycorrhizal fungi does. That's why we don't put dirt booster down on our lawns until we're really in that warmer weather, because that's when your fungi colonization starts. So there's no reason to put down dirt booster until you have warm temperatures for that mycorrhizal fungi to grow. And no, dirt booster doesn't produce mushrooms. Some people are going to say that, does it? No, it's completely different funguses. DGL. Now, DGL does have iron in it. Granular iron really doesn't have, it's really hard for grass to take up granular iron, especially based on the pH and some other factors, but we wanted to put some iron in it because people wanted the iron. But when you leave that on your driveway and it gets wet, it's going to cause rust stains. So what you want to do is make sure you blow it off your driveway. If you made the mistake, like someone commented, and they didn't get it off their driveway, you are going to have these rust stains on your driveway. There's a product that we use down at the beach house on our fence, and I'll put a link to it. It's a rust remover, and man, it works like almost instantly. So our fence down at the beach house, we're on a well down there, a shallow well, and it has really high iron. And our fence turns orange like all the time. And I have to go out there and I have to spray the fence. And within 60 seconds, the fence goes from orange to white. It is an amazing product. Now, it'll come back. There's no, I mean, I'm putting the iron, it oxidizes with the oxygen, turns orange. It'll come back, but this product is really good at of killing off that those rust stains. Real quick, I'll touch on seeding. I just ordered some more Bermuda seed, or it's actually, I have Bermuda seed in here. We've been pretty dry. We've got thunderstorms moving in tonight and all the way through tomorrow. We're going to have rain all the way through tomorrow. The guys are going to show up here in a minute. We're going to get them cutting. And then I just got a text, John's trailer is flat. He can't bring his zero turn, so I'm going to have him use the new Toro zero turn. So I'll shoot him using the new Toro. I don't think I've done a video on that yet for you guys. It's a fantastic machine. It's a 60-inch Titan with a MyRide suspension on it. It's really cool. So maybe I'll shoot a little bit of that. But they're coming over. Once they cut, I'm going to come out and put some more seed down here because it's the perfect situation for seed. You got warm temperatures, you got lots of moisture, lots of rain moving in. It's time to make sure all your seeding is down. So let's talk about the garden real quick. I think I shot a little bit yesterday. Here's my situation with the vegetable garden. Last year, we put a huge amount of time. Ryan was here helping me, so it was great. The Goodwitch was here helping me. But it was a huge process. We had thousands and thousands of pounds of produce come out of that vegetable garden. And I really don't need that this year. I don't really have a lot of time for that because I've got so many projects going on. I've got a new channel that's probably coming out sometime maybe late this summer. I got to start working on that. But I just don't have the time to commit for it. So here's what I did. I ran an ad for a garden tender, someone with horticultural experience. But I had like 42 people apply for this. And of course, most of the people that applied didn't. I mean, they were working at Amazon warehouse, or they had landscape experience. That's not what I was looking for. So I found one person. It's the only person I called in to talk to. And she is really good. She just graduated from with a degree in horticulture. She's actually run gardens. She's worked on farms. She has a lot of good knowledge. I don't have to babysit here. And here's what I told her. I said, this year, because I'm going to be gone for periods of time, I said, I'm going to give this garden to you and let you do what you want. And I think that kind of caught her off guard at first because, you know, she's been in that learning process where people are telling her things. And I sort of turned it over and I said, I want you to do whatever you want to do. You have no limits of what you can do up here. So she's going to actually be planning and taking care of the garden up here, probably 2 or 3 days a week. She's really cool, and I think you'll like her. The Good Witch is just too busy with her job. She's been helping me the past 4 years in the gardens. I might be able to get her to come over and help a little bit. Anne was up here last year, same thing. She's got family. It's too long of a drive. So, and that's the problem I'm running into is, you know, I don't want someone that lives 40 minutes away that comes here and works for 2 hours. Ricky is her name. She only lives like 20 minutes away, so it works out perfect. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll just shoot some videos there. So let me pop over here. If you remember this area over here, this was all weeds and nasty and dirt. Look at it now. So we came in here with a skid steer and with teeth, and I raked this and raked this. I spent a whole day raking this. That didn't help my back and neck. But then I built that. That's what caused my little neck issue, I think. I threw all those stones out together, and then we seeded in here. And the only thing I've put down on here so far is I've put down some DGL and water, and that's it. A little bit of nitrogen on new seed, and man, it's just boom, it's all coming up. Now I'm planting a contractor mix and some clover in here. I always like to throw in clover in an area that's going to be more of a natural area. Just you have to have that diversity, that biodiversity. So that's coming along good. So I thought I'd pop up here to the upper field. Look at this. This is absolutely crazy. This stuff is over 2 feet tall now, just because I haven't cut it in 2 weeks. And that's that cereal rye popping up, and I want to cut that down and expose the clover. The little yellow flowers are actually turnip flowers. So the vegetable garden is underway. These are blueberry bushes, if you don't know. Those are all blueberry bushes, and the birds were in here stealing, so I put some wire mesh around them. Looks like we got tomatoes going in here. Looks like we have 2 rows of tomatoes or 3 rows of tomatoes, maybe even 4 rows of tomatoes. And then she's got cucumbers going in, and then she'll do a whole bunch of stuff. And she'll do some really cool stuff too. I forgot I had ordered some purple tomato seeds, which are actually really cool. And I told her, I said, why don't we throw them up against that fence over there and plant the purple tomatoes up against that fence? This is commitment. So I'm standing out here in the rain, but I wanted to talk about grubs real quick. Understand the difference. There are 2 main things that we talk about. We talk about armyworms and we talk about grubs. Armyworms actually just eat the top grass, and what grubs do is they're always under the surface and they eat the grass roots. They will kill your lawn. So while your lawn is green, you will probably see these blotchy brown patches, and you'll see them in different areas. It's not like it's all focused in one area. Sometimes you'll have, and they can be, you know, 1 foot to 3 foot big, and you'll see these dead brown spots. And what is that? What I want you to do is I want you to take a shovel, and I want you to cut a 3-sided square or rectangle, and then go underneath that and then fold that back. Now, I don't want you to do that just in the brown area. I want you to go half brown and half green, because the brown means that the grubs are in there or gone and moving over towards the green. Does that make sense? So you have to kind of get a little bit of brown and a little bit of green. Fold that back, and within 1 to 4 inches, that's about how deep you want to go, just work through it. And what you'll see is if you start to see a whole bunch, like 2 or 3 grubs in that one section, you have a grub problem. If you had it last year, you'll probably have it again. So grubs will eat the roots and actually kill the grass. It's not that they're just temporarily harming it. And what you need to do is what I did out here is get Double Kill. I'll link to the Duo-Side Double Kill down below, and put out a treatment of it. Now, it's important to understand that if you want to kill the grubs that are 1 to 4 inches down, that product, which is a dispersible granule, DG product, it has to be watered in, watered in, watered in. So the way that I do it is I put out the Double Kill, and I start watering it, irrigate, and I wait for a good rain event. A good rain event will actually push that product down deep enough. But generally, just irrigation Sometimes just irrigation won't get it down deep enough, but that'll eventually kill off all those grubs. I was over here fixing one of these sprinkler heads the other day that was buried a little bit low, and the first scoop I took, a white grub was there. And I expect that. This is a 40-acre farm property. I've got grubs everywhere. Every time I dig in, I've got grubs, but I don't want them on this section of lawn, so I'm just treating this section. I really don't care about the other sections, but this section, you know, you want to keep this a little bit pristine looking, so I'm definitely treating for grubs. So watch out for those. I know a lot of you don't have green grass yet, but when your grass starts to get green, if you've got some blotchy spotches that just aren't growing, there's a good chance that are grubs. And there are 2 times to kill grubs. One is going to be spring to late spring as those temperatures come up, and then the other one is going to be late summer, early fall, somewhere in there. So there are 2 times. This is a window where you can actually go out and kill them. But I did want to go over that real quick. Oh, we're going to cut that today. Yeah, you know, look at me say, oh, I get to use the Toro. I knew that's what he was thinking. So my brother from another mother has a flat tire on his trailer, and he can't, so he doesn't have a zero turn, so he gets to use the Toro. I think he did that intentionally. So I'll shoot him a little bit on the Toro, but so he knows I'm dealing with this neck issue, which is still completely screwed up. And I'm supposed to stay off equipment, which is killing me. He likes the Toro. That's a nice riding machine, man. Just making sure. I was like, what if he thinks that's a brake? No, he knows what it is. So the nice thing about this is the whole deck is controlled by a 1-foot pedal. So if you're going to go, like you're going over like a route over here or something, you can actually lift the deck up a little bit. Or like you're saying, when you turn around, you lift it up. Yep. I don't bother lifting it up when I turn.
Yeah, I always turn around when I lift it up. Or I keep like that slow. So when you're driving, if something come up real, you always slow it down and just lift it up. Make sure it don't hit.
All right.
Yep.
But I told him, I said, you like that ride. It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is.
It's a nice ride. It's a 60-inch deck. And the MyRide suspension, so he's sitting, if he put his feet on there, put your feet out here like this, you can even move that seat more forward if you need to. Yeah. But this whole thing is an independent platform, and not only does it have a spring there, but it's got 2 springs here that you set for the ride comfort. And let me tell you what, there's a huge difference. It doesn't seem like it, but when you ride one versus the other that doesn't have it, it really is. It is really nice.
It's a big difference. Like, I don't even feel like I'm riding on this. Like, I ride my mower, you feel it.
Every bump.
Yep.
It's every bump. This one, you feel the sway and you feel the bumps, but it's not like that heavy vibration. Big difference. So we are coming out here with a reel mower and cutting this with a reel mower, but I want to get Jeff sort of trained on this because while I'm gone, he needs to be down here cutting this while John is up there actually using the zero turn, and then Jeff will come in with a weed eater. So it's like a whole routine we got to get into. So people ask all the time, why don't you use the side discharge on this? Because it doesn't work. We're having to cut this grass when it's wet. We really don't have an option. These guys are out here early. So we got to cut it while it's wet, and every other pass we got to stop and clean the Eco out underneath, even with the door open. You can say whatever you want. We've done this for years now. It's going to clog up. So basically I told him, I said, go one way, go the other way, and then throw all that grass down in that area, because John will be cutting that with a zero turn and he can chop that up. So this is my new Toro Titan. I ordered it about a month ago or so. It came in. I've only ridden it twice. It's amazing. I really had to get it in case, just like a situation like this, John had a flat tire on his trailer, couldn't bring his zero turn over, and this grass was getting like 8 inches tall, so now he can use my unit out here. But this is definitely a beast. 60-inch deck with a My Ride suspension on it. Got a 26 horsepower Kohler engine. The entire unit is assembled, including the engine, in the United States. It's a mix of USA parts and parts from Japan, I think. But man, what a nice unit. It was actually, I ordered it on the Toro website. They ship it to a local dealer. The local dealer assembles it, tests it, and brings it out and goes over the whole unit with you. So it was actually a pretty good process. A natural area. What is a natural area for me? A natural area is grasses and clovers all mixed in, including weeds. I don't mind the weeds in here, but you can see it's probably 50% clover and 50% grass. It's a great biodiversity. The deer come in here. I'll have next month, I think I should have babies. My baby deers should be actually out, and they'll come in here, and it's so cute.
Way cleaner, smooth ride, smooth.
It's big. I keep forgetting how big that deck is. I keep overlapping so much, but it's like, dude, it's such a big deck, dude. 60 inches.
It worked good though. Cover everything, man.
Yeah.
It worked good.
And especially when you get it up to that 4-inch mark, man, it's just, this whole place looks amazing.
Oh, it's smart, man.
So we got this set at 4 inches and we're cutting it just because in the summertime, just like your normal grass, sometimes you want to bump up your cutting height to shade the soil. Well, we do the same thing here because we really have no way to get irrigation in here. And we're actually in, I don't want to call it a drought, but we haven't had rain in a week, really. This place looks amazing here. So it's definitely Bermuda time. 80, low to mid 80s during the day, starting to get some rain. So my Bermuda's starting to come up. Man, doesn't that look good? It's starting to really look good. I have a ton of weeds over there. I need to spray them though. I just don't want to spray when I'm seeding, but. So one of the rules I have, which is consistent with one of my old greenskeeper superintendents on a golf course I used to work for, is anytime a piece of equipment comes out and gets used, what happens?
Wash it off.
It gets washed off. Even the world's #1 greenskeeper, John, green superintendent, every single time a piece of tractor, anything comes out and gets used before it goes back in their garage, in their warehouse on a PGA course, it gets washed off, the whole thing, every single unit, every single day. And it's just really, everyone wants to know why my John Deere still looks brand new, you know? And it's because I wash it off every time I use it. But here, because this is such a big deck, I've got these ramps, and we're putting these ramps because there's no other way to reach up under there and wash it. So let me try and wash this thing out. This is the stuff I'm talking about right there. That is all up under the deck. You got to get it off. Ricky was asking about a rain gauge, and I've got a rain gauge way up in this field, but I'm going to move it down next to the garden so you'll forget going to the garden. So this will be right next to the garden, and she can check if she wanted a rain gauge. So I'm going to move this one over. So now whenever she comes to the garden, We keep a lot of supplies in this mailbox, which helps out. And then whenever she comes, she's got a rain gauge right here. That's kind of what I think that's what she was wanting. Instead of having to stop up there and look at it right here, it's right next to the garden. So one of the big projects, when I get back from the beach house work, one of the big projects that I want to get done is last year we were pumping water out of the pond 450 feet up to these fields up here through lay flat hoses. And what I want to do is I want to get a trencher, and I want to trench a 2-inch PVC line and basically have a head come up here. And so I only have to work with hoses, you know, a little bit that way and maybe a little bit that way. But during last year's drought, every other field was burnt and dead. This field and that field were the only 2 green fields around. So basically, once a day, I'd come up here and I'd run my big irrigation sprinklers, you know, the ones you see on baseball fields. And then I had a tee off. Matter of fact, the tee off is sitting over here. I would tee off that irrigation with this hose. And you can see I've got a regular spigot. And I would run a garden hose over here. And while that was running, I'd have enough power to actually sit here and water this whole garden. It's pretty crazy. Just off one 2-inch high pressure pump. I was using North Star 2-inch high pressure. You have to have a high pressure pump. You can't use a semi trash pump. But this year we had the new well put in. The only problem is dragging these big 0G hoses that are 3/4 inch sort of fabric. So this year I just found these. This is the 0G NTX, next generation in flexibility and superior performance. Innovative high-tech outer jacket. I didn't make this crap up. Durability, kink-resistant technology, UV resistant. So I bought 2 of these for her. So, and I've got quick connects, and I've got the quick connects, and I'm gonna hook up a hose system that's easier to drag, because that 3/4 inch 0G hose gets heavy, man, and it does want to kink a lot. So we're gonna try these. Okay, so I wanted to touch on fertilizer just real quick. Base fertilizer for almost everyone out there, PGF Complete. Unless you have a soil test that tells you differently, if you got high phosphorus, PGF Complete with 0 phosphorus, that's available as well. After you get that base fertilizer down, it's very mild. About 2 weeks after that, I want you to put down a little bit of DGL, which is pure nitrogen, and that'll give a little bit of extra push, and that'll really thicken up that grass during this strong push period. So that's mainly what you're doing. Next month, when we start to get into the heat of June and July, that's when we'll focus on the soil health, and we'll be putting down Humichar and Dirt Booster. We'll be focusing on the soil health. But right now, we want to push this grass to get it really thick. That's what we want to do. Woo. So we've had almost 2 inches of rain in the past 24 hours. And it was quite a bit of rain, some bad storms last night, but we needed it. We were really dry. Temperatures in the 80s, no rain for a solid week. And I was like, dude, I got all this seed out here. It's like, come on, I'm tired of watering. So thank goodness, temperatures are cooling down, rain is here. I got a ton of seed out here. I've got La Prima Bermuda seed out here. I've got common Bermuda seed over in this natural area. On that new grass area over there, I've got a mix of contractor, and I've got clover. I got seed everywhere. We got the new garden starting to be planted. The fields need to be cut. I got a whole bunch of stuff. Now, I wouldn't be able to leave this place and go down and do that project down at the beach if I didn't have John and Jeff, and now with Ricky up here helping me. So it's really important. I found some really good people, and I'm really happy with them, and I take care of them. But man, it's just like everything compounded all at once. And it's like, okay, Doc, you got 7 days to get all your crap in a row before you head down for a month to redo that whole thing. I got to do down there. I got to pressure wash. I got to do a lot of pressure washing. I have to completely fix that lawn. I need to, like I said, it was zoysia, but all this Bermuda keeps coming in, and it's more of a common Bermuda. So I'm going to let the zoysia and Bermuda battle it out, and whoever wins, wins. So it'll be a mix of zoysia and Bermuda down there. Pressure washing, I got to do the fence down there. I got to clean the pool. I got to update all my security cameras. I just got a bunch of little tasks down there that just have to be taken care of. So anyways, It's just a lot of stuff all going on at once. I'll try and put out as much content as I can down there. So hit subscribe. Like I said, it's going to be a little bit different algorithm. If you're not subscribed, you're going to miss the videos. But I know this was a long one, but I just need to give you a full update because I haven't posted in a while. Anyways, thanks for watching. Talk to you later. Doc.